99% of people don't know the unpleasant odor specific to seniors. Just wash this spot properly. Shi Heng Yi. There's a reason some seniors carry a distinct odor, and it has nothing to do with hygiene the way most think. It comes from one overlooked area, and washing it wrong only makes it worse. Stay until the very end, because the final spot I reveal is the one that changes everything. Aging scent. We live in a world that is deeply, almost pathologically, afraid of the passage of time. It is a quiet, undeclared war fought in the privacy of our bathrooms, in the hushed whispers between friends, in the expensive creams and complicated concoctions we apply, in the desperate pursuit of a self that no longer exists, the self of yesterday. This collective fear casts a long, dark shadow, and within this shadow, the most natural of our body's processes become twisted into sources of profound anxiety and shame. We are relentlessly taught to see the body's inevitable changes not as a beautiful map of a life fully lived, but as a series of accumulating failures that must be hidden, corrected, or erased. A wrinkle is not seen as a line of laughter or worry. It is a flaw. A strand of gray hair is not a thread of silver wisdom. It is a flag of surrender. And so, it is no surprise that a subtle change in our body's natural scent is treated as the ultimate personal failing, a deep and secret mark of uncleanliness. This is a profound and damaging misunderstanding. It is a narrative of fear, one that we have been sold, not a reality of biology. The body is not a machine that is breaking down. It is a living, breathing, natural organism that is constantly evolving, shifting, and communicating with us through every single stage of its existence. The scent we will discuss today is one such communication, and it is time we learned to listen. It is often called the old person smell, a crude and clumsy label that is heavy with judgment, discomfort, and a deep-seated fear of mortality. But this label is an illusion, a ghost created by our collective anxieties. It is an unkindness born not of malice, but of simple ignorance. What if we were to make a conscious choice to look at it differently? What if we could reframe it, not as a sign of decay, but as the natural, earthy aroma of wisdom? The scent of a body that has faithfully carried us through decades of triumphs, sorrows, and invaluable experiences. It is the scent of a life story written on the skin. In the Shaolin arts, we are taught that every single part of our training, every aspect of our daily life, is a sacred opportunity for mindfulness. This principle extends beyond the training hall and into the way we perceive ourselves and our own bodies. To accept the body's changes with grace is a form of high-level discipline. It is the practice of letting go of the ego's desperate attachment to a fleeting, youthful image and instead embracing the profound, grounding reality of our own life's journey. The scent, therefore, is not the enemy. The true enemy is the shame we have been conditioned to attach to it. The true enemy is the fearful story we tell ourselves about what it means to grow older. This specific signature aroma is not caused by poor hygiene in the way we commonly understand that term. This is a crucial point that must be absorbed. You can be the most meticulously clean person, following all the conventional rules of washing and scrubbing, and still notice this subtle shift in your scent. This is precisely why it can be so frustrating, so confusing, and so demoralizing. It creates a gnawing sense of helplessness, a feeling that your own body is somehow betraying you despite your best efforts. But this is not a betrayal, it is simply a chemical conversation, a quiet dialogue between the oils on your skin and the oxygen in the air. This dialogue is happening on a molecular level, a level that standard soaps and simple rushed washing often cannot reach or influence. This is the truth that is so rarely spoken, the key that unlocks the door. It is the truth that liberates you from the exhausting cycle of shame and self-blame. The scent has a name, it has a distinct chemical cause, and therefore it has a mindful, elegant, and effective solution. It is a natural process, as natural as the turning of the seasons or the falling of a leaf from a tree in autumn. The leaf does not feel shame for turning brown and returning to the earth. It is simply and beautifully following its nature. We too must learn to follow ours, not with fear, but with understanding and with grace. To understand this is to begin a completely new relationship with your physical form. It is a conscious decision to move from a place of internal conflict to a place of harmonious cooperation. Your body is not your adversary in a battle against time. It is your most loyal and steadfast companion on this path we call life. It has been with you from your very first breath and will remain with you until your very last. Does such a faithful companion not deserve our deepest respect, our most tender care, our patient understanding? When we are young, the body is astonishingly resilient. Its systems are robust, and it readily forgives our neglect. It bounces back from our poor choices and late nights. As we age, it begins to ask for more from us. It is not a demand, but a gentle request. It asks for our attention. It asks for our mindfulness. It asks for a more conscious partnership. This change in scent is one of its ways of asking. It is a quiet knock on the door, inviting us to learn more about the intricate vessel that carries us, to tend to it not with frantic fear, but with the steady, compassionate hand of a dedicated custodian. The first step in this, as in any mindful practice, is always the same: to observe without judgment, to simply see what is without the distorting filter of what we wish it to be. So let us together set aside the heavy cultural narratives of shame and fear, and let us look with clear and curious eyes at the simple, elegant biology of what is truly happening. The body's chemistry. The human body is a self-contained universe of breathtakingly intricate processes. Every single second, a silent, complex symphony of chemical reactions takes place within us, maintaining balance, creating energy, healing wounds, and sustaining life. We often take this profound complexity for granted, moving through our days without a single thought for the miracle that we are. We do not appreciate this symphony until something shifts, until a new state of being emerges and commands our attention. The change in our skin's scent as we age is a perfect example of this natural and fascinating shift. It is not a random occurrence. It is a predictable, well-documented biological phenomenon. The origin of this specific scent is a single chemical compound called nonenal. To be more precise, its scientific name is 2-nonenal. Simply giving it a name is the first powerful step toward demystifying it. It is not some vague mystical essence of old age. It is a tangible molecule with a specific structure and a specific origin story, a story written in the universal language of biochemistry. It is the direct and natural result of a common chemical process called lipid oxidation. Understanding this process removes the mystery and replaces it with empowering knowledge. Let us break this down in simple, accessible terms. Our skin, the largest organ of our body, naturally produces a complex mixture of oils, which are scientifically known as lipids. These lipids are essential. They form a delicate protective layer called the acid mantle, which keeps our skin hydrated, supple, and healthy. On the surface of our skin, we also have a unique blend of fatty acids, including a particularly important one called omega-7 fatty acid. When we are young, our skin has a powerful and highly efficient antioxidant defense system. You can imagine it as a vigilant, well-trained army of guardians, patrolling our skin and protecting these delicate oils from damage. This internal system of antioxidants tirelessly neutralizes free radicals, which are unstable, rogue molecules that can cause oxidative stress and damage to our cells and lipids. This is the body in its prime, a veritable fortress of resilience. However, as we journey through the decades of life, the body's natural production of these antioxidants begins to gradually decline. It is a slow, natural, and universal shift. The walls of the fortress become a little less fortified. The guardian soldiers become a little less numerous. This is not a failure. It is a fundamental, programmed feature of the aging process itself, as natural as the lengthening of shadows as the sun sets. With this inevitable decline in antioxidant protection, the lipids on our skin, especially those omega-7 fatty acids, become more vulnerable to the process of oxidation. This is a chemical reaction that occurs when these fatty acids are exposed to oxygen in the air. To help you visualize this, think of an apple slice that you leave out on the counter. Within a short time, its white flesh begins to turn brown. That browning is the visible result of oxidation. Or think of a piece of iron or steel left out in the rain. It slowly develops a layer of rust. That rust is also a form of oxidation. A similar, though far more complex and invisible, process happens on our skin. The omega-7 fatty acids, once diligently protected by our internal antioxidants, now begin to break down or oxidize when exposed to the air. As they oxidize, they decompose and transform into other, simpler chemicals. One of the primary breakdown products of this specific reaction is the molecule 2-non-enol. This molecule has a very distinct and often described as unpleasant, greasy, and grassy odor. This is the scent. It is not the scent of being old or unclean. It is the chemical echo of a fundamental biological shift. It is the smell of oxidation. What is absolutely crucial to understand here, the piece of information that changes everything, is that nonenal is an oil-based or lipid-soluble compound. It is not water-based. This is the key that unlocks the entire puzzle. This is precisely why conventional hygiene practices can and often do fall short. Most common soaps and body washes are designed to be excellent surfactants for water-soluble substances, things like sweat, surface-level dirt, and everyday grime. They are incredibly effective at this task, but they are not always effective at breaking down and removing stubborn, sticky, oil-based compounds like nonenal. So, you can wash diligently every single day, removing the water-soluble sweat and surface bacteria, but you can unknowingly leave behind the very molecules that are creating this specific scent. It clings tenaciously to the skin and even to fabrics because its chemical nature is fundamentally different from the things we are accustomed to washing away. It is not a matter of washing more frequently or more aggressively, but of washing with a different kind of understanding. It requires a different approach, a different tool, and a different mindset. This knowledge empowers you. It moves you from a state of frustrating confusion to one of crystal clarity. The problem is not a lack of effort. It has always been a lack of the right knowledge and the right technique. Understanding this chemistry is the map that shows you exactly where to go and what to do. Secret sauce? Now that we understand the what, the specific molecule 2-nonenal, and the why, the natural process of lipid oxidation on unprotected fatty acids, we must turn our attention to the where. Where on the body does this process primarily occur? Where are the hotspots for nonenal production? The answer lies in another fascinating aspect of our skin's anatomy, the sebaceous glands. These are microscopic glands embedded in our skin that secrete an oily, waxy substance known as sebum. Sebum is the body's natural moisturizer. Its primary job is to lubricate the skin and hair, keeping them waterproof and supple. Because nonenal production is directly linked to the oxidation of lipids found in this sebum, it follows that the areas of our body with the highest concentration of these sebaceous glands are the primary sources of this characteristic scent. Knowing these specific locations is like a skilled general knowing the precise terrain of a battlefield. It allows for a precise, focused, and highly effective strategy. It transforms a vague, frustrating, all-over effort into a targeted, mindful, and successful practice. It allows us to work smarter, not harder. Many people are genuinely surprised to learn where these glands are most dense. They are not at all evenly distributed across the vast landscape of the body. The first key area is the chest. The upper chest in particular is an area that is rich with active sebaceous glands. It is an area that is also often covered by clothing, which can trap heat, moisture, and sebum, creating an ideal incubator-like environment for the process of oxidation to occur. We wash our chests in the shower, of course, but often with a quick, sweeping, unconscious motion. We are not mindful of the fact that this specific area is a potential hotspot for the creation of nonenal. The second critical area is the back, particularly the upper back, between the shoulder blades. This is another region that has a very high density of these oil-producing glands. It is also, for most of us, a notoriously difficult area to reach, to cleanse with real intention and thoroughness. How often do we truly give our back the same level of detailed attention we give our face? For many, it is an afterthought in our daily ritual. a place that gets a quick, passive rinse from the shower stream. It is often neglected, and in that neglect, oxidized sebum can accumulate. These two areas are important, and giving them focused attention will make a difference. But there is one location that is the most significant, the most concentrated, and the most commonly overlooked source of non-enal. It is a small, discreet, and almost entirely forgotten part of our anatomy. It is the area directly behind the ears. This small patch of skin, the delicate crease where the earlobe meets the side of the head, is one of the most sebaceous, gland-rich places on the entire human body. It is constantly producing the oils that are the precursors to non-enal. Furthermore, it is a protected, sheltered area. It is not exposed to the constant friction of clothing or the direct flow of air that might help to disperse these oily compounds. Our hair can cover it, trapping oils and creating a warm, protected environment. We rarely, if ever, think to specifically and mindfully wash this spot. We might let soapy water run over it in the shower, but we do not give it focused, direct, mechanical attention. It is in this forgotten, humble corner of the body that non-enal can quietly and steadily accumulate, becoming a concentrated source of the scent we are seeking to manage. This is the secret that is so often promised in sensational whispers and clickbait headlines. It is not some exotic, mystical location or an expensive, complicated product. It is a humble, simple spot that has been hiding in plain sight our entire lives. And this simple fact reveals a profound truth that extends far beyond the realm of personal hygiene. In our lives, and especially in our spiritual practice, it is often the small, overlooked details that hold the most power and significance. It is the single mindful breath in a hectic day. It is the small, unspoken act of kindness. It is the quiet moment of reflection before sleep. It is the discipline to focus on the small, forgotten corner. Tending to the area behind the ears thus becomes a powerful metaphor. It is a practice of paying attention to what is commonly neglected, both in our bodies and in our lives. It is a potent reminder that mastery is not found only in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the meticulous, consistent, and loving care of the details. By identifying these specific sources, the chest, the upper back, and especially the area behind the ears, we move from a state of passive, frustrated reaction to one of active, intentional, and dignified care. We now know the cause, we know its origin, and we know the territory. We are now fully prepared to engage not in a battle, but in a mindful cleansing ritual. Cleansing ritual. To know a problem is one thing. To address it with wisdom and skill is another entirely. The solution to non-enal is not a declaration of war against the body. It is not about harsh scrubbing, abrasive chemicals, or a futile fight against the natural process of aging. It is a gentle, mindful, and intelligent ritual. It is a practice. And like any meaningful practice, it requires two essential things: the correct tools and the correct intention. Because non-enal is a stubborn, oil-based compound that adheres tenaciously to the skin, our ritual must address this on two distinct but complementary levels: the physical and the chemical. It is a twofold path to restoring balance. One without the other is an incomplete solution. This is the very essence of a skillful approach, combining different methods in a thoughtful way to achieve a holistic and lasting result. This is true in the martial arts, where we combine hard and soft techniques. It is true in meditation, where we combine focus and relaxation. And it is true in the simple, humble act of caring for our physical vessel. The first part of our ritual is physical. It is the practice of gentle, mindful exfoliation. The purpose of this step is to physically lift and remove the sticky, oxidized lipids and the accumulated buildup of dead skin cells that can trap these oils against the skin. This does not mean using harsh, abrasive scrubs made with sharp particles that can cause micro tears and damage the skin's delicate barrier. That would be an act of aggression, not of care. Instead, it means using a soft, natural cloth, like a muslin or bamboo washcloth, a very gentle body brush, or a konjac sponge. The specific tool is less important than the technique and the intention behind it. With your chosen tool, you will focus your attention specifically on those key areas we identified: the upper chest, the upper back between the shoulder blades, and most importantly, the small vital crease behind each ear. The movement should be slow, circular, and deliberate. You are not trying to sandblast your skin into submission. It is not a scrub, it is a polish. You are not trying to scour the skin, but to gently awaken it, to lovingly lift away what is old and no longer serves you. This step prepares the canvas for what comes next. As you perform this simple and evenly, this is not just a physical cleansing, it is an energetic one. You are bringing your focused presence, your loving intention to this part of your body. You are communicating with it through the universal language of touch, a language of care and profound respect. You are saying, I see you, I am paying attention, I am here to help restore our natural balance. This mindful physical exfoliation prepares the skin beautifully. It clears the way for the second, chemical part of the ritual to be truly and deeply effective. It is the simple, wise act of sweeping the temple floor before you wash it. The preparation is every bit as important as the main act itself. The second part of the ritual is chemical. This means choosing a cleanser that is specifically designed to do what ordinary soap often cannot, to effectively break down, dissolve, and wash away the oil-based 2-nonenal molecule. Ordinary soaps are frequently alkaline, which can be harsh and stripping on aging skin, which naturally becomes more dry and delicate. And as we have discussed, they are primarily effective against water-soluble grime. You need a cleanser with very specific properties. Look for cleansers that are pH balanced to support the skin's acid mantle, that are gentle and non-stripping, and that contain ingredients known for their ability to tackle oil-based impurities and odors. One of the most effective, gentle, and time-honored ingredients for this very purpose comes directly from nature, the persimmon. For centuries, particularly in Japan and other parts of Asia, persimmon extract, especially from the unripe fruit, has been revered and used for its remarkable purifying and deodorizing properties. The naturally occurring tannins in persimmon are known to bind to and effectively neutralize all sorts of stubborn scent molecules, including, most notably, nonenal. Using a cleanser formulated with persimmon extract or another ingredient specifically designed to break down and emulsify lipids is the chemical key to this ritual. After your gentle physical exfoliation, apply this targeted cleanser to the same key areas. But again, do not rush this sacred step. Take a moment, work the cleanser into a lather in your hands first, and then apply it with the same mindful, gentle, circular motions. This is not a battle to be won quickly. It is a process to be experienced and savored. Imagine the active ingredients in the cleanser binding to the nonenal molecules, breaking them down, neutralizing their odor, and preparing them to be washed away cleanly. Then, rinse thoroughly with warm, not hot, water. Feel the water washing everything away. The old oxidized oils, the dead skin cells, the cleanser itself. Take a moment to visualize the process of purification, of restoring your skin to a state of clean, calm, comfortable neutrality. This simple two-step ritual, gentle physical exfoliation followed by a targeted chemical cleansing, is the complete practice. It is simple, yet it is utterly profound. It addresses the root cause of the issue with scientific precision and deeply mindful intention. A true dignity. We have discussed the science, we have identified the sources, and we have outlined the solution. But the true deeper purpose of this knowledge goes far beyond the simple removal of an unwanted scent. If we stop there at the purely mechanical level, we have missed the entire point. We may have learned a new technique, but we have not gained any wisdom. The ultimate goal of this practice is not to fight a desperate, losing war against our own aging body. It is to cultivate a state of true, unshakable dignity. And true dignity is not about appearing young. It is not about hiding the evidence of our journey through life. Dignity is about self-respect. It is about accepting the fundamental reality of our own nature and choosing to engage with it from a place of strength, mindfulness, and compassionate care. This cleansing ritual, when approached with the right mindset, becomes a profound and powerful act of self-mastery. It is a small but significant way to claim sovereignty over your own well-being. Each time you perform this simple two-step process, You are doing so much more than just washing your skin. You are consciously practicing presence. You are taking a moment that is normally rushed, automatic, and unconscious, and you are deliberately infusing it with meaning and purpose. You are actively connecting your mind to your body, fostering a relationship of communication and care. In a world that is constantly pulling our attention outward, to screens, to notifications, to external demands, to endless distractions, this simple act of turning inward, of focusing on the quiet, meticulous care of your own vessel, is a radical act of discipline. It is a meditation in motion. It is a precious moment of stillness and focus in an otherwise chaotic world. With every gentle, circular motion, you are reinforcing the powerful principle that you are worthy of your own time, your own attention, and your own tenderness. This is the very foundation of self-respect. It is not something that can be given to you by others. It is a fortress that must be built from within, brick by brick, through small, consistent, and intentional actions just like this one. This practice is also a powerful exercise in acceptance. The body will change. This is an undeniable, immutable truth of existence. We can choose to spend our precious energy fighting this truth, living in a constant state of resistance, anxiety, and fear. Or we can choose to accept it and work with it gracefully. This ritual represents a wise middle path. It is not a passive surrender to neglect, nor is it a fearful, frantic battle against nature. It is a wise and compassionate collaboration with reality. You are acknowledging the natural change in your body's chemistry, and you are responding with a skillful, appropriate, and loving action. You are effectively saying to your body, I understand that you are in a new season of life, and I will provide you with the specific care that this new season requires. This is the very essence of grace. It is learning to move with the powerful current of life, not perpetually struggling against it. It is honoring the journey in its entirety, not just the early chapters that we find most pleasing to our ego. Ultimately, this entire practice is about caring for the vessel. In the martial arts tradition, a warrior cares for his sword with meticulous devotion. He cleans it, sharpens it, and respects it, not because he is vain or obsessed with its appearance, but because he understands that it is the tool that allows him to practice his art. He knows that the condition of the tool is a direct reflection of the mind of the warrior. Our body is our sword. It is our vessel. It is the only one we will ever have in this life. It carries our consciousness, our spirit, our love, and our legacy through the world. To care for it with mindful, loving intention is not an act of vanity. It is an act of profound spiritual responsibility. It is honoring the sacred temple that houses your unique spirit. By transforming a simple act of washing into a mindful ritual, you elevate it from the mundane to the sacred. You turn a chore into a practice. You change a source of shame into an opportunity for deep self-respect. Age with wisdom. Age with strength, age with a deep and unshakable dignity that comes not from fighting the journey, but from honoring it every single step of the way. Care for the precious vessel that carries you.